our Law News segment that we bring to you twice a week, sponsored by the Law Office of Gig and Giancola. Join with us now. We have the attorneys Christopher Giancola and Michael Gig. Guys, tell us what kind of law you practice.
Well, we do personal injury, workers' compensation, Social Security, disability. Mike does our wills, trust, estate, and real estate law.
And every week you answer questions that are submitted here on this show. We got one earlier this week. Mike, I think this is kind of regarding some of the things that you cover. It says, is it true that I can set up my checking and savings account as payable on death and they don't go into probate but go directly to that person?
Yeah, this is a good question. The answer is certain checking and savings accounts, I think it might depend on the bank. I never looked too far into this, but I have had clients that after they passed away, that person had certain accounts set up that way. So what you'll see is, like on one of the bank statements, you'll see the person's name, and then you'll see either POD or TOD, and then the other person's name, who that account would go to. So POD would be payable on death, TOD would be transfer on death. What that does is that acts as like a beneficiary. So transfer on death to, my daughter, so that the daughter would be the beneficiary. So essentially it's a beneficiary account like you would do with a life insurance policy or an IRA or something like that. I never specifically asked any of the banks which certain accounts you keep, but I've seen it with checking accounts. I've seen it definitely with savings accounts. So what that means is that that person is correct. If you can set up a bank account like that as a POD or TOD, I've even seen ITF, in trust for. Those are all beneficiary accounts. And if you can set up a beneficiary account like that, it is true. That would avoid probate. That person could get that money directly. And it wouldn't, basically with probate, it wouldn't be part of the fees that you pay when you have to open the estate. Now, if that's all that person had, then yeah, you wouldn't have to go to probate. You wouldn't have to open an estate. That account. No
inheritance tax?
There would be inheritance
tax.
There? Yeah. The only way it wouldn't be is if it went to your spouse. But you don't normally see that with spouses. Normally spouses have joint accounts together. But that is true. So, and that goes into what we talked about numerous times on the show, is you want to look at your beneficiaries. When you're looking to do your will, revise your will, do something like that, you want to make sure things like that, your beneficiaries are set up how you want to, because people oftentimes don't look at that stuff for many years. They might have additional children. They might not have had children when they did that, so they didn't name their children as like a backup beneficiary. So, but yes, going back to the question, POD, TOD, those are beneficiary accounts that can be set up.
Yeah, it could be something to look into. I'd never heard of that myself, but.
Yeah, certain accounts I think you can, and it's a good idea. It is a good idea, because it can help with the process after the person passes away. It makes it a little bit more efficient to get those accounts to the beneficiary.
Yeah, allocate those funds. And if people have questions for you guys that want to reach out to your practice, they can call you up and do the consultation and go from there.
Absolutely, yes. Give us a call at 814-946-1606 or go to our website at gig-law.com.
All right, guys, thanks so much.